special time. Thank you for our guests. I'm getting a message here from Head of School, Dr. Ben Koch, not to mention him. He was rather like and so I won't then. And I will say a big welcome to our Vice-Chancellor to give an introduction to proceedings. And
thank you very much, Kevin. And I will say very little indeed except to say welcome, and particularly to those who are from outside the university, a special welcome. I've been following, much of what goes on, obviously, in the school, but the particular interest that has been stimulated this year because of the Turing anniversary. And it's really quite interesting from my own personal point of view, because in my previous life, working as a senior civil servant, I just had a little bit of exposure into the world of the security services. And therefore it's been very interesting that here there is a connection anyway to Turing, and one that I think we have very, very ably and effectively been able to exploit over the past few months. And I know many, many colleagues in the room have contributed to that. I'm sure you're going to introduce the competition winner, and so on. So I won't say any more about that except to say thank you very much everyone who's participated in all of these events. And back to you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And David Bell, Vice-Chancellor, and again welcome to the School of Systems Engineering, where it's actually happening in the university more than anywhere else. And thank you those who helped with the Turing test. I know there are quite a few people here technically were involved with it who've come along today, and people who are involved as judges, which actually is quite a complex thing. Those of you that don't know, the person has to decide in 5 minutes, which is quite a short space of time, 2 hidden entities, which is one human, one machine, or whatever. And it can be thought, if you've not had a go at it, this is a doddle. It's easy to pick out which are machines, which are humans, but it's not like that. First of all, the machines are a lot better than people think, and secondly, humans are a lot worse than maybe the humans themselves think. So it's a lot more difficult, and hence for us today to be here to celebrate the winning child judge is absolutely fantastic. You really have done very well and have a special talent in yourself. Maybe there's some of the security aspects you were talking about. This is going to have an important role. The main award we are going to give you today has been provided by Raspberry Pi, and we have a representative from Raspberry Pi who, like Ben Koch, Head of School, is a little bit nervous about saying something, but I would like to introduce him just very quickly to say something.
Okay. So, so we sort of started our little charity to encourage computer science, get to an enthusiasm about computer science, because the numbers have declined year on year since people had programmable computers in the 80s. But clearly there are still some very talented young people interested in computers, and it's great to see them today.
Yes, thank you very much. For someone who wasn't too happy to have it. Excellent. So, without further ado, I'd like to say congratulations to the winning child judge, Chris Chapman. If we could all be... We've actually got 2 prizes. One is the one, that people don't really want, and that is I'm throwing in a copy of I see, is it your brother that's here? You're into science, fantasy, and so maybe you'll perhaps be more into that one.
If you ask nicely, Kevin's probably got one for you too.
There's more 3, I think. And there's several that we're really trying to get rid of. The ones that are signed. I mean, nobody wants them. Anyway, but the main price, and there's some words that go with it to describe how to put it all together, what to do, is the price supplied by Raspberry Pi, and that's now. Congratulations. Now, here's your big moment. You have the opportunity of just scuttling off and saying thank you and sitting down. Or, if you want to say what's wrong with the UK education system. So I understand someone's going to be on question time, is that right?
I'm on any questions
Any
tonight
questions?
because I have a face for radio.
So anything you say could appear, on radio in terms of answers to things like that. No, it won't be quoted as being anything to do with you, of course.
Well, I'm sure I could say a bit about what's wrong with the education. But last year, this is before I started my GCSEs, the year that's just finished theirs, were offered a new course called GCSE Computing by the exam board OCR. And that's now in its second year, and I took that last September when I started my GCSEs, and that's a brand new thing. And I can't believe we haven't had it sooner, because the only real option that would have, if they hadn't invented GCSE computing, the only real option I would have had is GCSE ICT. And I don't know how many people in here have experience in ICT courses, but that will have been things like Word documents and PowerPoints and spreadsheets